Pet friends, Kristen here. Today we're going to talk about snowmobiling. Can fat people snowmobile? Well, I tried it, and I would like to share my experience with you.
As this photo illustrates, mud and snow are not our friends, and this was the fundamental problem presented to me with snowmobiling. As with any new sport, I was equal parts thrilled and excited and nervous. We reached out to the snowmobiling company, and I started with questions like, well, what is the weight capacity of the snowmobile? Turns out a snowmobile's weight capacity is about 400 pounds. That meant I would be riding by myself, which was fine. So we get there, and the first thing we do is go into the trailer with one of the attendants and sign a waiver that basically says, if you break it, you buy it. That was probably as nerve-wracking for me as getting on the snowmobile. So the next step is to get the tutorial about riding the snowmobile, which means we have to get down to the snowmobiles, which I now realize are down an embankment, quite a large embankment. We've parked on the side of the highway in the mountains, and you have to climb down the side of the highway to like a little open field of snow. I could not make the climb down. The minute I stepped off the highway into the snow, it was up to my hips, and I couldn't walk. So my approach was to sit on my butt and slide down. And that's what I did. The snowmobile attendants were kind enough to back the snowmobile up closer to the bottom of the embankment so that I had less distance to travel. So once I got to the snowmobile, I had to figure out how to hoist myself out of the snow and onto the snowmobile. It wasn't too terribly hard, but did require lots of use of all my body parts and strength. So now we're on the snowmobiles, and we are setting off on our little excursion. And basically how I think it worked was earlier in the day, the snowmobile company had gone and kind of blazed a trail for us, and so then we followed that trail. So the snowmobile was very fun. It's very, very jarring and strenuous and requires all your upper body strength to control. I will say one of the other challenges to being a person of size was that sometimes it was hard to turn. That may be the case anyway, but it seemed like my boobs were in the way. So we ride this trail. We have a small group. There's only 3 of us, plus the leader. And he basically stands up and looks backwards the whole time, watching us to make sure we're okay. There's obstacles and hurdles. There's hills to go over and holes to go over and points at which you need to stay real close to the side so you don't fall down the mountain. It was very adventurous feeling.
The most awesome part of snowmobiling for me was the scenery. Pristine snow that hadn't been trampled on or seen, glistened like diamonds in the sunshine, and it was probably one of the top 10 most scenic things I've ever done or participated in. But I'm also pretty sure it was one of the most dangerous things I've ever participated in, and let me tell you why.
I did feel if I ended off of the snowmobile for any reason, I would be stuck in the snow, and it would be hard to get back on the snowmobile and get it turned over. So I used a lot of caution and went slow. It took a long time before I built up confidence to go faster. My favorite part was when we got to the end of the trail that we were on, and we got to kind of go at our own in the circle that they had made for us. But I was always worried about, what if I get out of the circle or, get stuck? All in all, it was fun. It was beautiful. Would I do it again? No, I probably wouldn't do it again because of what comes next. So we ride the trail back. It's nice. We get back to the clearing where we started, and that damned embankment confronts me again. So I hadn't really considered how will I get back up the embankment. And by now, there's the next group of people gathered at the top on the road, signing their waivers and getting ready. So there's quite a few more people. There's the attendant that had stayed with us, and the ones that help at the trailer to get us ready. And I'm trying to walk up this embankment, and all I do is sink. I just keep sinking up to my thighs and hips, and I can't get anywhere. I'm just pretty much stuck. So I have to resort to kind of humiliating methods, and nobody can really help me. There's nothing they can do to help me get up there. So I pretty much have to crawl on all fours to kind of distribute my weight. And, it takes me about 4 or 5 times as long to get up the embankment as it did the non-fat people. They tried not to look and watch while I was being humiliated, and nobody was rude or said anything. It just kind of put a yuck on the whole experience. I don't know if there's something that could have been done differently. Seems like they could have a boardwalk kind of thing or something that goes down the embankment to get people to the bottom, or some other plan. It's definitely not an accessible thing. So would I do it again? Not under those same circumstances. I'd have to do more research, scout out the place that we were going to be, and kind of ask more questions about how it's going to work.
Well, thanks for joining me. And remember, the outdoors is for everybody.